Well, though Republicans are eager to paint Mitt Romney as a flip-flopper, there's a growing amount of evidence that the rest of the GOP candidates are having a hard time finding their footing too, even on pretty well-defined issues such as a woman's right to choose. Let's get back to our panel now. We're back with Jonathan Alter, Professor Michael Eric Dyson, and joining us now from Washington, MSNBC contributor Crystal Ball. Crystal, I wonder if I can start with you, because Herman Cain was on such a roll with his stark conservative positions, no to abortion, even in cases of rape or incest. So what's happened? Is he having second thoughts?
Well, I think he's having trouble. I mean, the fact that he's really never held office before, he ran for Senate, but this is really his first time on a big stage. I think it's really starting to show. We've seen him have to walk back comments on abortion, on negotiating with terrorists, even on his famous 999 plan. He's had to kind of rework it and say, no, it's not so regressive. Here's what we're going to do. So he's struggling to stay consistent and on message at this point.
Professor Dyson, it appears even Fox News is souring on Herman Cain. No less than Karl Rove was taking him to task. Let's take a look. Sorry, that wasn't Karl Rove, but yeah, I mean, Karl Rove was suggesting that he may not be up to the task. What do you think, Professor Dyson?
Well, you get the candidates you pray for. The right wing is deeply invested in evangelical piety and of making certain that God is involved in all of this. Well, how can you deny that Cain is not the manifestation of God's destiny for the Republican Party? Look, it's all a bunch of interesting shenanigans going on there. And I think that if Herman Cain doesn't stand up to muster, then they're going to have to pass on him. But I don't think they can pass on him based upon anything he said so far, because they've all flip-flopped. They've all said things that they've been regretful for. Perry came in like a hurricane, and he's going out like a whimper. He's got to rejuice himself. So this is a story of a man and his gun, and now a man and his gun and his family, as Crystal Ball has suggested. You know, it's all over the shop. So I think Herman Cain is symptomatic of the chaos and the backflipping and sometimes the backbiting that's going on among the Republicans. And all of that having a firing squad in the semicircle is just apropos, given the fact that they can't quite figure out who they want to aim at and what they want to say when they aim at them.
John, how do you explain the fact that most economists have described Herman Cain's 999 as economically dyslexic, and yet the man is raising money now like never before? Does that mean that basically, while the punditocracy doesn't regard him very well, the people actually like Herman Cain?
Well, simple solutions are appealing. He provides.
But this is people putting hands in their pockets and spending money.
Yeah, he's done, well by their standards in the Republican Party in these debates. It has a superficial appeal, and I think the real problem for Cain now flip-flopping on abortion is that his original position that got him in trouble was actually closer to the libertarian principles that a lot of people in the Republican Party find appealing about Herman Cain. I mean, he said at one point, how can the government come in and tell a woman what to do with her own body, which we think of as the liberal position, but it's also the libertarian position, that if you don't believe that government has a place in our lives, that would be one of the last places that the government should go. So in that sense, he's losing some of the consistency that was appealing to a certain segment of the Republican Party.
Professor Dyson, what was your reaction when you heard Mr. Cain repeatedly suggest that people without jobs are solely to blame for their predicament, that it's their fault?
It's, as Mike Tyson might say, ludicrous. It was incredibly, inane of him to say this. And, the point is, it's heartless. The Republicans have to go visit the Wizard of Oz to find a heart, because they have none. They have no sympathy for other human beings who are out of work, no empathy for those whose backs are against the wall. And given the fact that he's been supported by the Koch brothers, maybe Coke and Cain doesn't mix so well together, and we got to figure out a way to get a new drug, because that one ain't working.
Rum and Coke, Crystal?
I don't know how to follow
Crystal
that,
meth.
Martin.
Crystal meth. Michael Eric Dyson, Jonathan Alter, and Crystal Ball, thank you very much for joining us.